Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode. This is going to be in between the carbon bit, the last video, if you watched that. This is just, I'm trying to keep up with, keeping you updated with what we're doing with the car. So, what we've got arrived, this is the next stage. If you remember back to the previous video where I was explaining the stuff that we needed to do. So we've got the exhaust done. We've had the engine out. You didn't need to see that because it was pretty boring, but we've had the engine out, changed the rear main. I've just put that back in this morning. I'm fairly good at taking the engine in and out now, it's safe to say. So what I wanted to do is to explain what the next little steps is, what we're going to be on with. I've fitted on the wastegate wires, which is just 2 wires, the ground and signal, just to open and close the solenoid. I didn't have a connector, it was hardwired to the car, so when I took the engine out it made it a bit of a pain to chop it and resolder it. So I've just ordered a 2-pin DTM connector. I'll put a link in the screen as usual, but I've wired that in and plugged it in. So I'll put a picture of that as well, finished, because you don't really need to see that, it's simple stuff. The buttons arrived and also the little stretchy cable for the steering wheel button. But that's not going to be in this episode. In this episode, we're talking about putting the headers back on. So I've got the headers down here, as you can see. Here they are. So what we're going to do is, this is how they sit on the car, in this sort of fashion. Now I've got room to fit an EGT sensor, which I think will be a decent sensor to have, because I can put a more, I can't think of the word, but a more advanced anti-lag system in, because I can monitor the temperatures of what's going on in the headers. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an EGT bung here, because I've got room to come straight out here underneath the turbo and back to the ECU. So that's what we're going to be doing today, putting it on the car, marking up where I can drill in and then fitting the bung. So there's the headers. This is the sensor I've gone with. I've researched and blah blah blah, same as usual. This is in this fashion of my videos. I like to try the cheaper stuff, and then if it doesn't work, we'll get the expensive stuff. But a lot of the cheaper stuff has worked on this car and been equally, if not more, reliable than the expensive stuff. E.g., pressure sensors. They're like £8 pressure sensor. But done a bit of research, not just gone and bought the cheapest thing out there, but these come with decent reviews. People have used them and said they've not failed, they've not melted, that they've been good and accurate. So it's a K-type thermocouple. It's mainline sensors it's from. I'll put their website in the screen. And then I've just ordered a 1/8 MPT bung from stainless bung from Torx. So that's the bung that's going to be getting welded onto the side of the manifold. And then this is the sensor that's going to be going in and then running back to the ECU. Now on the Cyvex, we have a mini K-type plug that actually plugs into the board on the ECU. So the guy from Mainline Sensors has been kind enough to include one of these plugs for me. He said he doesn't sell many, so he'll throw one in. But that's wired straight onto the end, make sure they're wired the right way around, because they're different. And that's that. We'll show you that working. I'll get a heat gun on it and we'll show you it, showing in the ECU. So that's the main part of today's episode. And then towards the end, we're going to be piping up all the stuff's arrived for the turbo or the return pipe. So this is the main pipe. Some people might comment saying this is going to crack, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to have the spare of this in the van and I'm going to monitor it. But the shape of it, it should allow, it's not going like straight down like that. So the shape of it should allow for some expansion rate, if that makes sense. And it's not got majorly hot fluid going through it. It's got like, not loads of fluid either, but it's got what, like 80 to 100 degree of oil going through it. And I mean, we'll have to see anyway, but it's malleable. You can bend it fairly easily. But I've just bought some, it's 5/8 out diameter this, so I've just bought 5/8, well I say I bought, I found it in the cupboard, 5/8 out diameter spring bender, just goes over and then you can bend it without kinking the tube. So that's the turbo oil return line, yeah? We've got some heat sleeving, torque stuff going over that. I'll put links in the thing up here. Interestingly enough, there's a new company, well not new, but it's called T7 Designs, where I got the fan from, and they're doing a lot of these fittings similar to Torx, but they actually sell this in 1/2 metre and metre lengths, which is it's good, so you don't have to buy a full roll. Yeah, 2 secs. Phone was ringing. Sorry about that. So, where were we? Yeah, the 2 fittings that go on the end are both compression fittings. So this is going to be screwed onto the sump, and they've just got little olives in them, like this, little olives, which go onto the pipe, and same as your plumbing at home, do you know, same principle as that. And that's going on both ends. So one on the turbo oil return, little fitting coming off the bottom of the turbo, and the other one going to the sump. That's that, pretty straightforward. I've ordered, as I said, some more vacuum line, 5mm internal diameter, and then some heat sleeving to go over the said vacuum line, just to protect it. Even though we've clocked the wastegate around now, so it's not going to be causing an issue like what it did before. The other thing, Funk Motorsport come through, I'll put a picture in the screen. I've gone over the engine cover. Shout out to one of the lads on Instagram, I'll put his page up, but he's actually sent me a new engine cover, which was mega of him. So we've put the gold heat reflective Funk Motorsport stuff that you'll see on the screen there on that front engine cover when the engine was out. You know, when I could lock when I could lock the back of the flywheel off to be able to take the front pulley bolt out. You know, to get the engine cover off. So that's that all sorted. The other thing, Funk Motorsport have sent me one of their turbo blanket wastegate blankets, which this is their new Mark III range, and it's really mega quality stuff. When you compare it, and I'm all for trying the cheaper stuff, that's what I'm saying, but I've tried the Chinese stuff and it didn't work on this occasion, so now we've gone with the good quality stuff. But if you look at this is their Mark III turbo blanket, look at the thickness of it, look at the quality of it, you know, it's mega. A nice bit of kit. So we'll test that, and you've heard of Funk. They've got plenty of mega reviews, and you see all the videos on social media and stuff, you know, them taking these off after so many months of using them on road cars and motorsport cars. So I'll actually grab the old one and show you if the camera will follow me over here, will it? Add a little epi fit sometimes, don't it? No, it's actually working. So yeah, this was the old one, remember, with all that white stuff coming off it, and then the new one for a little comparative comparison, should we say? But yeah, we'll fit that today when we've got turbo back on, got all this manifold back on and heat wrapped and everything, and the EGT bung welded in. And yeah, I think that'll be about enough for today. Yeah, let's crack on. Just want to get some sort of torch up there so you can see. No, the magnet's failed on it. Oh no, there we go. Right, as I said, I'm going to throw this manifold on to see the position. Bank that manifold on, so now we can position and just mark up where this bung's going to go. So it's going to be somewhere around here. So we just want to make sure that there's everything, you know, clearance-wise, I'm going to be okay. So we know the boost pipe goes there. We know the turbo's coming off. Turbo's coming off there, and the boost pipe's going down. We've got the wastegate line that comes off the underneath. So we're good in terms of clearance. We've got quite a bit of room, to be fair, in this area. So we know we can bring this sensor off, sort of around here. So if we just go central of this pipe, the central of that pipe there, if you can see that, that's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be with it. So I'll just grab a Sharpie and then we'll draw around that. I've just realised it's not a very good angle for you to be seeing this. That's a little bit better. So as I said, we're going to be going just about there. So I'm going to put the boss about here. So if, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Mark the bottom. Right, so I'm just going to measure the diameter of this so I know what size drill to be drilling the hole with. So it is a 20 mil. I hope I've got a big enough drill for that. But yeah, so 20 mil hole, we're going to drill right slap bang there. Safety spectacles. And no centre punch needed here. Wow. Need some new drill bits, I think. But let me open this up. You don't need to watch me do that. Let me bin that drill bit. That is trash. Right, so we've got that hole drilled out eventually. I need to invest in some new drill bits, I think. But what I've done is I've just beveled that edge a little bit. Do you know, like just with the attachment on the drill, you know, the flapper wheel, just to give it like so it's similar to the shape, you know, of the exhaust. It's still going to be a little. It's not perfect. Still going to be a little bit of a gap, but yeah, we'll get it lined up and sat in the groove there, and I'll get it tacked. What I've done is I've just put this little 1/8 MPT adapter in there, just to act as like a heat sink, you know, so none of this flange, I'm not using this flange as a sealing flange, but I don't want it warping and stuff, and this stuff warps like crazy. So yeah, I'll tack this on now, and then I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, that's tacked on. So we'll weld that up, I'll throw it on time lapse. Right, that's all welded up now. I don't think it's too bad. The welders, I'm not like I keep saying this, I'm not a professional welder, but if I zoom in, there's a little pinhole on the end there, but it welds really nice, I think anyway. You see there, that looks all right. Just need to dab a bit of filler rod on that hole at the end there, but other than that, we're all right. So that's, I've just dabbed a little bit of filler rod on that little end bit there. As you'll know, I'm all about function over how it looks, but it looks pretty reasonable. So now we can get this all wrapped up. I'll throw the sensor in so you can see how it's going to look without melting my hands. Let me get a glove. I mean, I could just let it cool down, maybe that might be an idea. Yeah, we'll take this out whilst it's hot. Oh, it's lovely and hot. How can I put that on the glass? Sorted. So, wow. a bit of oil or something off that plug what I just had. So we'll throw the sensor in so you can see how it's going to without melting everything. Let me chop this. There we go. I can actually do something now. There we go. And that can just rest on there for now. There's a bit of adjustment needs to be done, you know, to get this sticking out the right amount. But I'll take you in and I'll show you. You can just see at the minute it's probably sticking out a little bit too far. Excuse the non-back page, but yeah, it's all good. I'm just going to bench test this. Like I said earlier, I'm going to heat up the thermocouple, you know, with a heat gun, and then show you the laptop, you know, to show it working. But I want to just show you first how to actually install it. In the Cyvex itself, it's just got a plug on the back of the ECU, and this just plugs in. I'll show you that in a minute. But I just want to show you how to actually wire the sensor itself. So we've just got, this is a mini K-type connector. They're fairly inexpensive connector blocks. So we just undo the screws, take the little cover off, and then we've got negative and positive. So there's a little sticker there telling you K3M, that's the positive, and then this is the negative. So we're just going to wire it correspondingly. Correspondingly, is that the right term? Yeah. So whip them two screws out like so, and I believe if we take this one out, then we can take each pin out individually as well, and you know, just to give us a bit more access to. Yeah, we can. So that one goes with that one. So now we can take this out, and as we said, the red's negative, so the red's going to go to the fatter of the two pins. So I'm just going to bend this round so it's like a sort of flat-ish, you know, like that, so that we can get these two screws in. Where are we at? There we go. So negative, if we hook that around, this is very fiddly and my hands are not meant for this sort of delicate stuff, I don't think. Let me come back in a minute. We've got them back in place now, as you can see. So we can throw them back where they go in the corresponding slots. Sorry, I just had to flip that round. I had it facing the wrong way, but you can see a bit where with the light on now. So that goes in there with the wire. You can see, you know, going down that little side there. This one goes exactly the same, and the other side, same as you just watched me take it out anyway, haven't you? So you know the score. There we go. Just to make sure they're not, you know, touching each other. The wires, they're miles apart. So we can throw that front one back on. Yeah, it's very delicate, blooming fiddly work. I'm not a fan. Anyway, that's those two plugged back in. So we'll take it to the car now, and I will plug it into the ECU, show you where it goes, and then we'll get SView up and show you it working. I'll get a heat gun on it, on the actual on the actual probe itself, and we'll, yeah, show you it working. Here's the ECU underneath the dash, and you can just see, there, that's where it plugs in. So I'll put this down here and get it plugged in. Just realised I'm going to have to take this off again, aren't I, to wire it through the bulkhead of the car, but not to worry. Positive goes that way. You fiddly bugger. There we go, we're in. So we're on to the Cyvex here, and we're just going to, first of all, program bear with me because, pin assignments. So we want to go down to exhaust gas temperature sensor 1, and it goes on to K-type thermocouple here. So we'll assign that to there. We're on. So we'll do a device program, calibration successful. We're back online. So back out of there, we come into define sensors definition. You just seen what I went into, I can't remember what it's called. Exhaust gas temperature sensor. Exhaust gas temperature sensor 1. Input configuration. It's a K-type thermocouple. Yeah. Default voltage low. High, 4.9 volts. Default voltage low. 0.1 volts. Default sensor reading 900 degrees. That's fine. Filter constant 89.9% filter, same as we've got on the oil pressure. And then linearization here. So this should be linearized for a K-type thermocouple. So what we'll do is we'll heat the sensor up and see what it says. I'll get you a gauge up. So too low temperature reading would be 150 degrees. That's where we've got it set at in the failure detection here. And it wants the time in which it has to be at that too low temperature is 3 seconds. So anything below, if the engine's running, anything below 150 degrees for more than 3 seconds, it would count it as there's something wrong. This is the initial runtime to how long the car's been running before it starts reading that too low time, if that makes sense. So we've gone device program, we've already done that, yeah. We'll go file save, and we're gonna go on here to EGT sensor, because that's the latest, and we're going to change the date to the 21st. Just so I know the calibration's the latest one, because it's the latest date, and EGT sensor. Okay, saved. So now we're going to go G for gauge, A for add, EGT for EGT. So EGT1, boom. Text, we'll have it, yeah, text is fine. Refresh rate, probably do 5 Hertz, that's fine. So at the minute, the EGT sensor is reading 25. The scaling of this K-type thermocouple is, it's only accurate between 200 and 1200, I think. 200 and 1200 or 200 and 1300, if that makes sense. You can get different types of metals that are sensitive to different types of temperature. So we'll make the size normal, so you can see that. Or should we make it resizable? We'll make it resizable. Then we can just have it nice and big. Actually, it makes no difference, does it? No, we'll leave it at that. And then we'll also we'll add another gauge. So gauge, add EGT, and then we'll put exhaust gas temperature voltage in a text format, refresh rate 5 Hertz, just so you can see the actual volts there of the EGT. Don't know what's going on there. Oh, not got it plugged in. Ignore that. Air dry sensor's not plugged in. So what we're going to do now is, I've just got a heat gun. I've no idea what this temperature of this heat gun is. Nope, no idea. I've just set it on the side there. all we're going to do is, can you see just at the bottom of the screen here, we've got the thermocouple. It's just there, and the heat gun's just here. So what we're going to do is gently heat that up, just the tip, just to replicate what you would see in the exhaust flow. So I've got the refresh rate quite low, so if we turn the refresh rate up, that would now be going up. Let me turn it up and it'll make it. Change frequency, we'll put that one to 20 hertz. So we can see we're getting, at the minute, it's saying 125 degrees of exhaust gas temperatures. So let's turn the temperature up and let's see if we can get it up to its minimum sort of scale that it's saying that it's accurate from, which is 200 degrees. That'll do, you get the idea. So we're up at 400 degrees. That little piece of metal there is at 385 degrees. So we know it works before we get it in the car, and plugged in. So I'll disconnect all this now. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that, just so you get a bit better understanding of how to also how to wire it up if you're doing it yourself. I've put the turbo back on and the manifold back on. EGT wire, I've just, from where we've plugged it in, I've just gone through the bulkhead. I ordered 3 meters of this cable because I wanted it not, to definitely have enough. So there's going to be a bit of excess, in the thing to trim, and I might just coil it up. It'll be fine. But the EGT probe comes through here, and then that goes into down there. If it focuses, will it focus? Yeah, that goes into there like that. But we obviously don't need to do that yet. We need to make this bit, the thing, turbo oil return pipe thing, yeah. So we're going to jack it up in the air now and then start routing where we're going to go through. So here's what we've got to play with. There's that blue gasket is the turbo oil return. It won't focus on it, there we go. And we're going to come down and then this side and then across and then to that black rubber pipe. Well, it's just blocking it at the minute, to stop it pissing oil everywhere. So, yeah, let's get some pipe and have a look. So, this is what I've fabbed up. I couldn't get it on camera and do it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, this is the pipe. So it's going to go up there like that. If you can see, if it'll focus. Oh, get right in. Up there, attached to the turbo, comes down. Plenty of clearance around these headers, unlike before, and then bolts, screws into the thing on there. You get the idea. So that's the general gist of it. It has got fall. It doesn't look like it's got fall there, but it's got enough fall. As I said, there's very minimal oil coming off the bottom of that turbo anyway in the great scheme of things. So this now just needs heat wrapping. So we're just going to have this lagging put on there like that, and we're good to go. So all that needs to happen now is headers back off the car, turbo back off, and then we're going to heat wrap these. So I'll come back when we've got that heat wrapped, and then we can start putting all the other funk stuff on. But yeah, I'll have a couple of time lapses because I'm going to take these home to heat wrap.